Our dear friends. Okay, can you guys hear me all right? Can you give me a thumbs up?
Yep.
Oh, now I hear you. Sorry, I had my thing on mute, so if anybody was talking, I apologize. Hi, Holly. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Monique, and welcome.
Hello.
Hi. We have Steve on with us today. Anybody recognize this face, this picture? Anyone? Hands up. Let's see. Let me get my chat open so I can actually see when you guys are talking. Riley's here. Welcome, welcome, Riley. Oh, love that you guys are popping in here. Thank you so much. Oh, Holly, we even get to see your cute face, a hat and earrings. You look adorable. All right. So come on in. We're just giving him a few more minutes because I told him 30 minutes late and that's in 3 more minutes. So I wanted to get it on here, make sure everything is working. We have Steve who's going to talk to us today. So yes, STEM guy. Thank you, Monique. You did get the right. His name's Steve Warner. He's our STEM guy, and I always love it when he comes on. He's an absolute joy to talk to. So glad he's here with us today. And did you guys know today is officially STEM Day? Is that right? That November, what's the date? Today's 8th is STEM Day, and it's which is one of the reasons he's on. That and the fact that his program is awesome. How many of you have tried his program yet or gone through it? Just give me a little thumbs up in the chat if you have or not. Oh, you hear that? That means somebody's looking for me over in Mighty Networks.
I won't be offended.
Hi, Gail. Go on in, Gail. Okay, Steve's not being offended. This is good. Okay, just making sure nobody's trying to contact me over here in Mighty Networks. That's what that sound is. Oh, sorry. I can't turn that off without turning you off. So let's get started. We've got quite a few of you here. More will be coming in. I'm going to give it a little bit longer here. I wanted to do. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep you muted unless you need to talk, just so that we don't have any issue. You're just looking into the program, Monique. No problem. Gail, I just muted you. If you guys don't mind, if you need to talk, go ahead and unmute. I'm just keeping everybody muted as you come in, unless you need to say something. So just a quick starter here while we're waiting a couple more minutes, since I did tell them 1:30. Just a few thoughts for parents or moms, or for days when you just don't want to homeschool. When today I've had one of those days where I really just wanted to curl back up in bed and not do anything, and I know we all have days like that. And so it took me years to do this, but I have backup plans now for when I just can't. And it's not that my kids can't. My kids are doing great. I can't. And that's when we do a lot of, I have educational movies that are lined up to go. I have games, online educational games that are ready to go. I have all kinds of things that the kids can do without me on the days where I'm just like, not happening. Okay, we got questions coming in here already. So I just wanted to have you, as you're having those days, number one, know that they're totally normal. Know that your children will be fine. And know that it's okay to have those backup plans for those. Make sure you have those and do not feel guilty. Don't beat yourself up over those days, because you'll have weeks where things are going beautifully as well. Okay, Rachel, welcome. I see you over in the group. Asking some questions, and then I see you just popped up. So glad to have you. So we have today, so yeah, Rachel, this is our live. Sometimes we're here on Zoom. Sometimes I just go live right into the group. Today we're Zoom because here's Steve with us, who is our STEM guy, as they call him. And he's here to ask questions, talk to him about his program. But first, Steve, are you ready? I give him all the time I'm going to give him. You're muted. Hold on. Unmute.
I'm better now. I'm unmuted. Here we go.
Perfect.
I was grabbing my box of STEM that I keep for like all kinds of things. It's very unorganized right now because I've been doing some projects and getting some videos prepped, but yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it right now.
Well, awesome. Hi, Lori. Welcome. So Steve, can you just do a quick personal introduction of who you are, why or how you even came to be with My Homeschool Village,
Sure.
And what you have created for us?
All right. Well, cool. I'll start kind of in the reverse. So how we got into the Homeschool Village, I think, was mutual friends. I know
they know Heather, guys. This is Heather's friend, neighbor.
Right.
Yeah.
So my wife and Heather have mutual homeschooling opportunities. Matter of fact, their co-op was today. I know Heather is teaching a history class, and then my wife was also teaching a math class today in the same general area. So my background is information technology. I've been in various roles of that for almost 34 years. I come from an education background, so I've taught middle school, high school, and I've taught some college level courses in information technology. I've volunteered here in our state for a while at various co-ops teaching STEM. There was a class I did a couple years ago where we actually did a rocketry program, and we also did a cyber patriot program as well. That took on so well that I decided to just keep doing it in what spare time I had, and kind of partnered with other homeschoolers and other areas, and just used it also to supplement what we were already doing here. And a couple of years ago, actually 7 years ago, which I just kind of retired from Civil Air Patrol, I was the aerospace education officer for 7 years, and that program gave us abundant resources, which is actually where I get a lot of my content from, that I have access to, and a lot of it is free of charge, or it has no copyrights on it, so it's able to be used and edited, which is really nice for educational purposes. So. Yeah, and that's me. So I'm still working in healthcare. I'm a regional technology manager for a local hospital, and got a little bit more bandwidth now. Some things that we got off my plate, and I'm going to try to do some more of these videos. And I run a YouTube channel, and we just graduated our son last year, and we've got a daughter in sophomore. So that's the summary.
Thank you for that. So just a round summary for everybody. We got a homeschool dad here, guys. So he is our resident STEM guy, but he's also kind of one of the few homeschool dads in our group, which, by the way, we are always happy to have. If any of your husbands want to get in here and learn from this, we'd love to have fathers in here as well. But come on in. So you can ask. Sorry, Steve, I'm just kind of letting them know that they can ask you homeschool dad.
Yeah, I've already been looking at some of the chat, and I saw a couple of them, but yeah, if you want to let the chat kind of build up, and I can address some things either as we go. I mean, my time is yours, so however you want to moderate, I'm good with that.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to kind of give you the floor here. Let us know. I'm just making sure we don't have questions yet that have popped up, so we are catching those. So tell us what your program, who is it for? What is in it?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the challenges homeschool families have, and even, working in public school as I did, is finances. So trying to find experiments or projects on the cheap is kind of hard to do. We can't all run out and buy the greatest and latest STEM kit or program. So The program I put together has a compilation of stuff you can just find anywhere. I mean, one of the last lessons I did was Dollar Tree type stuff, dollar store, things around the house. You know, like I said, I have a box and I have a garage of stuff too that I just, when I find it and it looks like it's something to use with STEM and it's, you know, something I can make something out of, you know, and when I think about STEM, you know, it's, to me, it's creative. I mean, I know with our son, when he was like 2 or 3, we kind of saw some creative spark there and just the way he was working with blocks and stuff. And, you know, now more, you know, along those lines, he's doing things in this creative brain of his that is just beyond what I could even do. He's getting into like movie producing and working with videos and stuff. And it's like, wow. I mean, but I mean, when you look at the basic homeschooler, I know we didn't have a lot of money and a lot of resources, so we had to use what was available. So the course is really geared around that. Some of the materials are, you know, you have to purchase, and I put some links on for how to get those. But a lot of them are just, you know, how to make electric circuits using some wire, some clips, and a potato. You know, how to measure voltage, how to apply voltage and use different methods to calculate things. So it's really, when you think, one of the questions was, my child is 8, wasn't sure if it was age appropriate. I think they're flexible enough where you can make it as appropriate as you want. You know, getting into the last lesson, I'm finishing up, and I just published lesson 6, rockets and space flight, and it gets a little more intense. The next part of that, which I haven't released yet, which is going to be added here very shortly, gets into some little bit of minor trigonometry, but it's things that you could figure out really easy as far as altitude, how far something is, and distances. So I never underestimate any age, really. There's, you know, kids that will pick up on it, and it's one of those things where you can modify it to fit. And I will be coming out with a supplement lesson, and I might even just put that out for everyone, that will have, there's a booklet I want to go through, which is science for like early years, kindergarten through 4th, 5th grade. But again, you know, some questions are easy, some are hard, and again, you know your child the best, and you know, you might say, hey, you know, I'm going to take them through, or take her through, you know, what, you know, states of matter, what are states of properties, and those things, and you know, looking at different like ice, you know, solid states, gases, and working with balloons and things like that. It's fun, you know, and I think sometimes it's kind of, you know, rekindles the kid in me that likes to play with this kind of stuff. So it's kind of an outlet for things I didn't get to do, you know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I mean, okay. Thank you. You know, the mute and unmute, it goes off and on. We have a ton of questions here for you. They're popping in now. How much work does mom have to do?
All right. Well, I'm going to pull one of these up here. How much work does, you said mom has to do there? Okay.
Do I need to sit there and babysit my kid through this, or do I just need to get the supplies and kind of hand them over to your video?
So in some of the lessons, I do put some additional warnings out saying, you know, hey, there might be some heat involved, there might be some cutting involved. So the safety checks I put in place to make sure, and I am pretty good. I try to be consistent in the videos. Hey, make sure you have a parent available. But I always like the parental engagement. I think that's what makes it special. It kind of brings it in. There's the documentation that's involved. The reading part of it is more like could be on your own. But honestly, the videos, I try to, I'll just look this one at here. I try to make it where somebody could start the video and pause it, go back and kind of figure it out as they went. So, you know, I don't want to be that video replacement for a parent. You know, it's virtual dad, you know, virtual teacher kind of thing. But it's, you yeah, they could follow the program pretty well with the materials. And I do every lesson, I go over the materials overview and I give a screenshot of what all's involved. So you can make sure you have everything before, ahead of time before you get into it. Cause that's one of the things I hated where, I get started on a project and, oh, I need pipe cleaners. Oh, I need Q-tips. Oh, I need cotton balls. And there's actually been, truth be told, times where I'm starting one of my videos of my project. It was like, oh, I've got to go back to the dollar store again because I forgot blank. Pool noodles was a big thing. Trying to find pool noodles going into the end of summer was crazy. But thankfully, the dollar store had like a whole truckload of them sitting out front on clearance. So I'm like, give me your noodles. Here we go. So I just got to stockpile them. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I think for the most part, knowing what your child's capability is, can I leave him alone with materials and tools with his virtual teacher for a period of time? And they're really not that long. I said some of the videos anywhere from 5, 10, 15 minutes long. And it, again, the videos are meant to apply and support what the other content is that you're reading. For example, the experiment on forms of energy, going through, here's the, I'm kind of looking at the document here where it talks about, here's the lesson plan, here's the materials. Now here, let's apply it using the video.
Awesome. Does that answer the question then? Some of you there? So I like it because there is some hands off, some hands on. I don't think any program should be 100% hands off by mom. We need to at least know what's happening.
Yeah. And there's one video I do with electrical and chemical energy where I'm actually playing with a toaster. So you always want to make sure that you're in the room. If and it's used as an example, it's not really used as part of the experiment, but it talks about different forms of energy. In this case, changing electrical energy into heat energy. And I use a toaster as that example. So, we don't want to walk away, leave the kid with a toaster. Here's my 4-year-old. I'm going to do this. No, wouldn't just want that to happen. Okay, full disclaimer, I can't be responsible for everyone in the world who's playing with a toaster right now because of my lessons.
Yes. Okay. We appreciate that. Right. Let me read some of these comments to you really quick. Let's see. Do you have any tips or insights on how to do STEM related activities with children on the autism spectrum? My son is 7, very busy, hard to keep engaged, won't really allow for us to try and engage in his STEM like play with Legos, etc.
Yeah. We kind of read through that one. Okay. Yeah. I do not have a lot of experience in that area. When I taught 10th, 11th grade several years ago, so it's probably 2001, 2002, I had an autistic student that was coming into the computer program, and he had an assistant with him that I was able to work through for that individual. So that's a great question. And again, probably something it kind of challenges me to go back and do a little more study on. The kinesthetic learning, the hands-on is kind of how I envision that. And yeah, I guess I'm not too well in tune to that, but thank you for that. And again, that would prompt me to probably go back and do some more work on that.
Okay, appreciate that. And Rachel, on that, as a homeschool mom, I just want to ease your mind a little bit. Most 7-year-old boys don't want you involved in that kind of stuff. My boys are not autistic, but when they were that age, I couldn't get them out of Legos or any kind of, hey, let me play with you.
Right.
Until 10 or 12.
Yeah. When I think it's that change perspective, isn't it? Going from one thing to another, I'm that way. I don't know per se if I'm on spectrum or whatever, but just for me, I have trouble. I got to focus on one thing and I don't want to move on until I have this thing completed. But maybe that's just a quirk for me. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the quirk is what the schools are trying to get our kids to do. I think the natural child is like that.
Right.
So it's not on spectrum, but anyway, we could have that discussion later.
Right.
Lori says, I love the option to purchase the few supplies and have someone else teach it, but struggling to get my 7th grader to watch. Yep, running around the house looking for supplies. What are some motivators, ladies, that we can come up with, and sir, sorry, not to leave you out there, for motivating our children to get on these videos? I think once they get started, I think they'll be hooked, but you know, they're like, I don't want to until they get there. So how can we get there?
Right. And I'm bringing up my documents so I can take notes.
Okay. Yeah. And to me, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, well, you're not going to go play with your friend until you've got started. And then I think once they get started, I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but.
Right.
Will you be doing follow-up videos after this course? I think is what she means.
Yeah, that's a great question. Wait, what's this? Show them how goofy Steve is and then it's relatable. Well, yeah. I think goofiness is always an enticement, depending on the age. I mean, I'm 52 and I'm my wife's oldest child. So and that's how she introduces me too. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a part of that. I mean, we live in a very instant cartoonish environment, you try to, I grew up in the 80s, Saturday morning cartoons, those things where, eating cereal, watching everything I could, binge watching He-Man or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, when it's time to get on school, it's time to get on school. And making that transition is, in your environment, easy or hard. But yeah, I try to add a little bit of humor into these just to make it more enticing. I think one thing I thought about is doing is more trailers, 1 minute intros, like here's what's up and coming kind of thing. So yeah. Going back to, some follow-ups. Yeah, I think what I want to do is once this session's finished and we see how this works after I'm actually got my parts ready for the rocket build I'm going to do this week, so I can get that up on the last part of lesson 6, and then see what our next step is, probably for spring. I really want to do something. There's new material that has just been put out by Civil Air Patrol for aerospace, and some really fun stuff that I think would be really a lot more encouraging, engaging for elementary school students. So that's what I'm going to try to look at going next. But I guess that'd be a question or a poll for like, what are the ages that, I know we're all on the different levels of things. Like, what is the primary group of target kids that you would want to see this designed for? Are we talking elementary? Are we talking middle school? Or is it somewhere like all over the place?
Well, guys, give me the ages of your kids. Let's see what out of those who are here, what ages of your children. I know we're always short on high school information. I think up to 16. I think at 16, it's good to get your kids starting to do some college stuff. But everybody go in there and post if you don't mind. Tell us what ages your children are. Junior high and high school, age 12. Yeah, and that's pretty much where you're in now, right? Like an 8 to 12 zone.
Yeah, 8 to 12 zone.
So 8-year-old, 4 years old today. Oh, happy
wow.
Birthday. You feel a little young.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep. Happy birthday to little 4-year-old. That's sweet. So yeah, I would say, honestly, I think under the age of 6 is probably not.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So we're looking kind of like the 6 to 12, 6 to 14 range.
Even high school. I know I have my high schoolers who would love to. I have 2 high schoolers myself. So maybe a couple kindergarten range, says Heather. My daughter will be 9. Okay. And a 6-year-old. I hope you're writing all that down.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Okay.
I can also print out the chat too when I'm done. So it's
awesome. And I want to do a quick explanation here, a little side note. So when you join the membership, you get all of the programs, the online programs, and you get all of our unit studies. And basically anything Heather and I create, we put in there, and we are always adding. When it comes to these courses on the site, so Steve put this course together. He's the one, when you buy this course, it all goes to Steve. This is our thanks to him. He created it. And I want to make this clarification because We are going to be adding in more courses of other homeschoolers who have awesome expertise like Steve does in different topics. If you are one of those people and you want to add in a course to our group, we do have a link now. You can sign up for that and we go over those with you. But this is something that we'll be adding in as we find programs we think are awesome for homeschoolers. They'll be coming in here and that money goes to the person who created the course. So one of our goals here at My Homeschool Village is to create incomes for homeschool families. And that is one way you do it. So when you're supporting these classes, you literally are supporting a homeschool family and it goes to them. So just so that you know that. But you are right now, Heather says the course is on sale this week, $7 off with code STEM at checkout, and VIP members get $12 off. So if you're paying for that membership, you get the full 12 off, $7 if you're not. FYI, we are live in the main group too because some couldn't find it. Oh, awesome. For all of you out there in IT land. Okay.
So another question I have too is, what, I know Legos is a big thing, but is there any other interests that your kids have that, and it may be STEM related or not? Because I look at a lot of things where it may not look like it's STEM related, but somehow it's going to point back to something in that realm. So what are your interests, whether it's Legos or outdoors or those kind of things?
And this isn't just my question, I'm answering first, but if any of you guys want to answer this, please do. I heard a story from a homeschool mom once, and she was talking about how her children, she and her kids were on a road trip without dad or something, and their trailer came unhitched and they had some electrical issues and the brake wouldn't work. She said, and they had to pull over the car. And as she gets out to make a phone call and figure out what's going on, her children went, fixed the problem. And she was like, whoa, what just happened? And they said, well, Mom, it's the same as snap circuits. We just used our snap circuit knowledge. And they fixed the car, they fixed the electricity. She's ready to call a tow truck, and the kids fixed all this electrical issue.
That's great. And
they were on their way. So ever since then, so after that, I bought snap circuits. My kids love them. We played with them until there's not a piece working anymore. But I understand you're a snap circuit expert.
Well, I don't consider expert in anything, but
more than a lot of us. Can you explain what a snap circuit is and how this would help?
Oh.
Okay, guys, this is one of my all-time favorite toys. My girls, my boys, they loved it at the age of 4. They loved it at the age of 6.
I've got too many of these to count. I've got another crate of these things down there in the bottom, but I have used these for a while and they constantly come out with new stuff. Now they are, I will say, and this is where I've done a series of these, and I'm going to be doing some more because they've come out with some that are like a 3D, like you can actually build a house with different circuits, and they made one that's like green energy. They made a couple that have more mechanical type things to them, but they are expensive. And if you're not able to find like the deals on them, they can get like this one here started at probably about 30 or 40 bucks. But there are some places you can get them pretty little cheaper. Now that's when I built the first program here for Homeschool Village, I wanted to keep it on the cheap, just as far as finding things around the house. But this would be like the next level up. And that, what you said, that real world example is a key element of why we do these kind of things, because it does bring in the real world to this kind of thing. So yeah, they've got a couple more. Actually, I've been in communication with Elenco, who is the manufacturer for these. I'm trying to work out some deals, but they want you to be this big place, this big YouTube channel or something, and some of those things will come back to us later. So I have, and every year now I've been trying to just let them know, hey, I'm still here. And I got the ear of the marketing, one of the VPs of marketing earlier this year. So I'm kind of seeing where I can go with maybe getting some merchandise to do some more testing and presentations for them. So we'll see where that goes. That would be a huge prayer request, if you wouldn't mind. Because that, one of the things we'd like to do.
Heather wants to know, she said, if it's if it's a large group you need, do you want us to make a few phone calls and see if we can hook it up with our bigger group?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing we can look at. Obviously, there's power in numbers, and if we have, if we can prove a market, obviously they want to sell snap circuits, and we have families that want to use them. So that'd be a
Okay,
great.
can I ask a question here? Because number one, let me, we need the link. Do you have a link for those now or no?
For the
The snap
channel.
circuits, for your YouTube channel, we'll post that, guys, in the group later. We'll put his YouTube channel up so you can see that. We'll put his, and don't you have a snap circuit link or not yet?
The one I had, I just found out earlier, it expired. So I have to renew that one. So let me work on that before I give you something that's going to dead end you.
Okay. Because then my next question is if we went in together on a group buy, could we get a discount?
It's a great question.
Maybe we could. I would love to get a couple for Christmas this year for my kids. I would love it. It's been some of their favorite toys, honestly. And what better than like an educational toy, right? Two birds, one stone.
Right.
So if we could get a group buy, how many would we need to get? Maybe we could put that out there and everybody sign up and pay, and we'll just get a big old discount. Yeah. Oh, we've got him interested. Lori says, I'm definitely interested in purchasing a snap circuit type kit, but which one should I buy? Yes, great Christmas gift. Let's get the buy and buy next Friday. Steve, the idea we move around here.
Now, these corporate people don't move fast. Believe me, I'll tell you, I've been in that corporate environment.
Well, and I think it would be fun if we did this as a group where you said, okay, everybody we're going to get this one, maybe even a beginner. We'll go in and get a bunch for a discount, and then you lead a class on it, and then we'll get the next one. And I
think that would be kind of cool. I'd like to maybe get a poll going on that. So what I can do is that there have been some new ones that came out, and I'd like to do a review on some of those. So let me see what I can dig up on that till next week.
Okay.
And I will come back with the results. You just gave me some homework. Thank you.
Awesome. Monique says she's interested. Yeah, we've got a bit of interest here. I know I would.
I love it. I love it.
For Christmas. I think it's an excellent Christmas gift. And we literally used our first snap circuit kit till it was so broken and in pieces. But it was years and years we used that. Right. So it's time to do it again.
See, now before all that, there was I grew up in the Radio Shack days, and I'm sure there's others on here that have, and we had this little kit. It wasn't called snap circuits. It was like these 50-in-1 kits, and it was the very same principle. To me, it was a little more high tech because there were a lot more parts to it, but they were all on one board, so you could just connect things together. So that's kind of where I'm thinking this kind of came from. So but I like the fact that they're large pieces. They're really easy to hold and handle, and especially with someone like me with fat thumbs, you can make them work. And the booklets are fantastic, and it says on here it's for ages 8 to 108. So
it really is too.
Get your grandparents and great grandparents involved, I guess. So
and really, for those who are really new to this is really electricity at work. My kids at one point, I didn't know they'd done this until they brought it to me. They took a snap circuit kit and a solar power kit and connected them and created the solar power to make the snap circuit. They just came and showed me what they did, and I was like, oh, we're getting more
right. Well, and in the video and the lesson, when I'm talking about the energy, I actually use some solar panels that I got at our local hobby shop, and I've used those to put together, and we measure. Again, this is like the discount snap circuit that I've done here for homeschool channel. How to put these things together. I think it's the one that talks about chemical energy and electrical energy, and it's taking different materials and making electric patterns out of them. And we use those solar panels. And I think some of those kits that I put together on my own just with household stuff was probably less than $10. So, but yes, if you want to go to the next level and you're saying, yep, you know what, my kid's been asking us for Christmas, then Snap Circuit's probably that next level. Cause again, it's got everything in it. You can add to it. I have like, with Lego kits, at some point you have all these different sets, they become one. Well, that's what happens to my Snap Circuits. They're all in like one big box. Hey, Heather.
Yeah, better to see your face than mine over there, Heather. Thank you. It's like that was
We
shocking.
got 2 Rebeccas. How's that happen?
Yeah, well, we had the just woke up Rebecca and the after makeup Rebecca, but now that we have Heather, it's so
boy.
much better.
No, we have the clone. We're just clones.
We're just close.
Clones. All right.
Can I do something that I always do on your live, Rebecca, and give away more?
Of course. This is
So
why you're the favorite.
I know. And if it's okay with Steve too, because this is your product, is it okay with you if I go ahead and give the $12 off to everyone if they buy today?
Sure.
That's on the live. Just
On
only
the
because they're on the live.
Hi, you see my face. Hello.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, guys, isn't she cute? I don't know if she's on your left or right, but she's on my this side.
Okay, so I will put the VIP code in here. Just don't share it to everybody because they don't get it if they're not on the live.
See,
Okay.
this is why she's your favorite and Heather is cool.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's not the code, but I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Heather.
No problem.
So did you see her message on there too? Everyone join the STEM group. It's free to everyone. It's not the course, but it's where we will share the info and all the other info on here. So it won't be in the main feed. It'll be inside this STEM group. If you're not in the group, you may not get that notice. So make sure that you are over there if you're interested in it. Not that we meant to go on Snap Circuits, but tell us, go ahead, keep going.
No, I was just going to also refer to that. I have an actual playlist. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, I have a playlist of about 8 different, actually there's a series in there that kind of build off each other of Snap Circuits. So if you ever want to go out and take a look at that and share that around, I think each lesson is probably anywhere from 10 to 14 minutes long. And one of the things I really like to do in my lessons, whether it's on Homeschool Village or on YouTube, is go into the why. If you just go ahead and Google STEM projects, there is a boatload, millions of hits you will find of YouTube channels and videos that it's a compilation and it's like 10 in a row. They're 15-second long, a 60-second long. Here's boo-boo what you do, and you move on. You're like, well, that was cool, but why does it do what it does? What is the whole thing behind it? So that's why I like to go when my lessons, I'm talking about kinetic and potential energy. This is the why. This is the result. This is how it's going to do the thing. So not just we're going to build a rocket and we're going to shoot it up. Well, thanks for watching. Goodbye. I don't like that. It's fun if you're looking for some things to do that are quick, but if you're doing an actual series like I'm doing, you're becoming the teacher, or you are the teacher. You want to make sure that somebody that's watching, they're trusting you to have the kid in front of the video watching you. Then I want to make sure that I'm pointing to all the elements of the science behind it, the physics behind it, and why it's doing what it's doing.
I love hearing that from you. I don't know about anybody else here, but I get so tired of hearing the what without the why. And it just, to me, it's half the lesson unless you can actually apply it in your life. Yeah. Amanda, I saw your cute face. Do you have a comment, or were you just letting us see who you are? Because it's always fun to see your guys' faces.
No, I was just wondering what level is, or what grade level would be for the STEM?
I think most of it's all geared between the ages of 8 and 12, 14.
Okay.
Although I have to say my 16-year-old likes it. So
oh, yeah. It's wherever you feel that some have a gifted child that 3 years old, they're building chemical rockets. I don't know.
No, because my 9-year-old, he really loves science and stuff, so I was thinking about giving it a chance.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it would be right down his alley for that. And we were talking earlier, I don't know if you were on about, how the videos to be engaging, and pulling them from one thing to getting them to sit down and watch the video. You know, what does it take to have some, it's a commitment and it's part of their curriculum that you've committed to. So you want to make sure they're getting the most out of it. So that's why it's, this particular series of 6, they're building on each other. So when you're, we go back here, where was I? So, we talk about lesson 1, what is, states of matter and properties, and we're talking about molecular structures and gases, liquids, solids, and then we're going to explore forms of energy in lesson 2. Well, we're going to take what we learned in lesson 1 and 2, move those together. Well, now lesson 3 is applying electricity to make circuits. Well, now we're talking about batteries and chemical energy, and then we're moving to forces of flight. So yeah, they're all going to really start building. So my goal in this whole program was those 6 lessons are going to give a child in that age group or wherever they fit a really good science understanding from the principles to the application. So at the end of it, you can say, whoa, I did this. This is like how this is all going to work. So.
Okay, yeah, because he's more into science. He doesn't want to do anything with math and reading and all that. So.
Oh, well, that's part of it. That's part of it. I mean, that's the thing. So that's the carrot on the stick, because if you want to see the rocket go up, you want to see the states of matter, you want to see the electrical circuit. Well, you got to know a little bit about math, because Ohm's law is a big thing with electrical. Knowing distance and altitude and pounds per square inch of thrust is going to be important for, getting a rocket up in the air and those kind of things. When you're sending a hot air balloon up and you're using just heat energy for something to rise versus using helium or some other light, gas. So there's an incentive there, because you got to read the material, you got to do some of the work, and then you get to do the fun part of the videos and the application.
Yeah, exactly. And I figured that this might be something that he might be more interested in. Maybe I can help him get to reading and do more math and stuff.
Right.
No, Amanda,
Alright,
I love what
thank
you
you.
said there and what Steve said, because my 16-year-old is a science kid too, but he would not read or do math until he saw how it supported his interests. And now he does beautifully. So yeah, excellent.
Yeah. Reminder that STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So there's, unless you did the STEAM, then you can put the art in there as well, which I'm totally on board with too. I'm just not the artist. I mean, stick figures, yes.
Yeah, so is he.
Finger painting, yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And remember, STEM, STEAM, stream. What is S? Oh, reading, engineering. You know what's not in there is finance. I think there needs to be a finance in there.
I think that has to come before, because you need the finance to fund everything after.
Right? I'm like, we have all these important things, but nobody tells us how to pay for it all.
Right.
We are working on a finance course. That's not going to be this week, but we are working on one. Okay, so we have, now remember, you need to be inside the STEM group, which is totally free. And that's where we'll get the information. Steve, as people are signing up for the course and as they're going through it, are you available inside that group for questions?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't get enough questions. I mean, I know I just kicked the door wide open on that. But when I do, I try to respond within 24 hours. I do have a hospital job and other things going on. So if I see something come up in the chat, I feel like sometimes I'm the only one posting in there. I'm putting some links to different things that are up and coming. But yeah, if there's something like, hey, I'm looking for this product, where can I find it? Or what if I substitute this for that? Then yeah, let me know. I mean, I'm happy to answer those kind of questions. Now, I know we're on different time zones too, so we're across multiple time zones. So you're 3 o'clock, maybe my whatever, I don't know, wherever you're at.
Well, and I like to think of this as, those workout videos and they show an advanced version, they show a modified version. I
Right,
assume that we
yeah.
can come in and say, hey, my son loved this or my daughter loved this. Do you have something that will keep feeding that? So
Right, yeah.
Steve's got a wealth of information here, guys. There's a reason we brought him in, not just because his wife and Heather are buddies, but because he really knows his stuff. And we are really lucky to have him in here. So I highly recommend you take advantage of him.
And I'm still learning too. So I'm gonna keep learning as much as I can.
It says, Monique, it's up to you if you want to only do the STEM lessons for your science curriculum. Yeah. Oh, did Monique ask a question and I missed it? Thank you, Lori. I don't know where she's asking that question, but she answered it for us. Thank you. So yeah,
I miss Radio Shack too. So
I know Radio Shack and the simple electronic keyboard as a kid. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Does anybody remember 2XL?
Rosie, it says.
Oh, she must have heard Rosie in the background.
I
think she's supposed to be doing
only in clothing. That's what I was thinking, Heather. In clothing.
2XL was this little mini robot that you would put an 8-track cassette in. And it was like a trivia game that you bought from Radio Shack, and it would ask you different questions, and you had like A, B, C, and D, and it was kind of science. It would ask you about, like lunar landings and all different kinds of things, and just weird trivial facts. And it's been it's been long gone, but yeah, anyway.
Well, so Lori says Rosie is the robot on the Jetsons.
Yes.
You guys are showing your age. Not to.
I thought she was talking about my Rosie, my daughter, because
well, that was Heather, so it's possible. So basically, Monique, it looks like, asked, can you use your program as the only science they do?
Again, that would be up to you. Yeah, I would say
for a year.
For a year or a semester, because it will take you some time to go through this if you're going through it thoroughly and understanding the materials. Now, one thing I haven't done a lot of is integrate any kind of tests involved. Again, not everybody does good with tests, and I'm one of them. I can do content all day long. I can do this and that, but when I'm put in front of a test, it's like, okay. But to me, it's like the fact that you can do the work and you're hands-on, you're materializing what you're doing is, to me, is the test. There are some what would I say, terms that are definitely good to memorize. Talking about different types of fluids or different types of gases, or we talk about what thrust is, lift. When we get into the forces of flight, those are definitely need to know type things. Whether or not you want to test on those, that would be great. But I would say this would be a good first year, maybe, or a second year science curriculum. Again, if you want to supplement it with something else, you could. Again, I may make sure too, this isn't a credited course, obviously, but for a middle school, you would need that for this age group. But I would say, yeah, use it however you feel, and you can always add to it or say, you know what, maybe this is a little too much. Let's just skip over that and go to the next thing.
Awesome. Can I say how I would probably do this? I would use it for the full year.
Mm-hmm.
I would do one lesson, and then I would take that lesson and go to the library and see what else we could find, and hit YouTube and see what else we could find, and just get it. As long as they're interested, I would hit every resource we could find. And then when they're bored, we move on to the next lesson. I wouldn't push the next lesson until they're no longer interested in the first, because you don't want to cut off that interest. So let them go with the interest until, and then go to the next one. It may take you a year to get through it if you do it that way.
Right.
For those of you who are answering to government entities, reporting, this is reportable. You can go in there, state exactly what they learned, anything you picked up. This you would report as your science, and you could literally just put what the program was, what they studied, and you could literally use that same lesson week after week for a little while. So Oh,
I-
she's already got, okay, go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
I was gonna say, I just dropped the link for my YouTube channel in there, if you want to take a
Okay.
look at that. And yeah,
We'll
that's
repost it.
definitely a work in progress. So yeah, there's a lot. And again, to me, like science, those of you that mentioned you have kids that are really into science, these are also meant to spawn additional creativity or additional interest. So it may be, I was that kid that, you start doing one thing in electricity and then, okay, my mind's going in another direction now. I'm going to start doing this. So it's going to spark more creativity. There's other couple kits that I will actually post. And actually what I would like to do in one of our next, if we get together again, which I'm sure we will, there is an awesome program for parents that is very cheap, very inexpensive. And it's part of the Civil Air Patrol, but they offer it out to teachers, and it's called AEM, and it's for educators, including homeschoolers. And I can put the link up, or I can actually, put it in one of my other videos as well. And what it does is it provides STEM kits. It's a one-time sign up of like $35. All right. And then renewal is free every year, or actually renewal, every year. But you can get up to 2 or 3 STEM kits free. I'm talking like these are expensive STEM kits, but it's funded by the Air Force, United States Air Force, and they put money into these STEM programs for kids. We've actually gotten, I think this might be one of the ones, the SNAP kits I got from them. I've gotten a Raspberry Pi kit that we've used. We've gotten a remote control airplane that we've used. And the only, let's say, commitment is they give you the program, they give you the curriculum, you run through it, you take pictures of the work as you go, as a teacher, you submit the form and all the documentation at the end. You upload it, and then once you do that, they send you a certificate of completion, which I think is golden, because now you've done the program. Now you have a clear ironclad certificate sponsored by the United States Air Force that you've completed this kit. And that is awesome. And again, once that kit's done, you can turn around and apply for another one almost immediately. And there, what I'll do, like I said, I'll post a bunch, I'll post the link in my channel, in the online here on the course for STEM. So you can take a look at that, and it will take you to like all the different available kits. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you work through the application process and any of that to get started. Because what I would like to do, I've done my stint for 7 years as a cadet involvement. I finished out as a first lieutenant, work with the STEM program. My goal now is to continue as an AEM educator on behalf to just do more of the STEM promotion for the organization.
Wow. Anybody else jaw drop a little bit on that? That's exciting. I had no idea that was out there.
It's cool. Yeah. Like I said, it's 7 years ago when I got into the program, it's one of those things. It's like, where's this been? Yeah, I don't know. You can also, it's kind of like, I'm gonna say Boy Scouts, but it's Air Force, and it's more, it's not military for that, but it's got a lot of benefits to it. So if anybody's been in the Air Force or military, this is an awesome program. And again, it's one of their commitments to fund STEM education. And there's no commitment on anybody's part to say, well, hey, you did this, now you better enroll. There's nothing like that. I mean, this is merely for educators. There is no commitment except to finish the project, submit your results, apply for a new one. And their turnaround time is almost like within 48 hours.
Wow. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but between Steve's program, the SNAP circuit, and the AEM, I got science covered for like 3 years.
There you go.
Right? That is really, really exciting. You see why we brought him on. He knows his stuff. So we'll make sure all those links are inside the STEM group. So make sure you're headed over there. We might send a little reminder. Oh, my foot stuck on my mouse. Oh, sorry. So what else you got for us?
Wow, running out of time before I run out of content.
Yeah, I do have to run and get my kids. So you got about,
Yeah, right.
you guys have got about 5 minutes to ask Steve whatever questions you
I
have.
say
You better
that's-
hurry.
Yeah, I'd say just a Q&A right now is fine with me. I know we've got a little bit of time and.
Okay,
catch me
somebody's,
now.
oh, Hannah's asking, how do we get to the STEM group? So if you go over, if you're on your phone, let me just show you real quick. If you're on your phone, there's a little menu right here. These little 3 dots, some people call it the hamburger. Click on that. It does kind of look like a hamburger once you see it. If my phone's not been working today. Ooh, okay. A menu pops up and inside here, this is where you can find courses. It's where you find groups. It's where you find other links to our stuff if you're looking. But you just go in here and you click groups. And once you've clicked groups, all the different groups pop up. And in here you can join the groups. So there's a Spanish group. There's a STEM group. You can join the group that is part of your state. So you can find people who are dealing with the same legal issues as you. You can, anyway, so it's all in there, and then you just go in and join, and you will get the notifications of those conversations happening. So it's just to help you in there. And it says introduction. Look, this is his right here with the little cog there. It's backwards. Introduction to STEM. That's his group. Make sure you sign that up. If you're on your computer, it's the same way, only on your left-hand side. Did that help? Okay, good. She found it. Good. Any other questions? So ask them if you have them. I want to just recap. Number 1, if you're signing up for Steve's program, you get today only $12 off with code. I saw it in here. Code VIP STEM. VIP STEM, $12 off today if you sign up for his course. And then we will be posting the Snap Circuit link. We will try and see if we can do some sort of group buy. So we'll let you know by Friday about a group buy possibility. We'll all just like secretly buy Christmas gifts for our kids all at the same time. And then Steve will show his AEM program with us as well. So that's 3 links, right? 2, maybe 3 links that we're going to need. And we've got his YouTube channel. We need that. And then remember to go in and ask him questions, guys. This is a homeschool dad. He knows what it's like to homeschool children. He knows what works. He knows what doesn't. He's not a newbie. He's been doing this a while. Graduated kids. How many kids do you have again?
Well, Caleb just graduated and Rosie's on her way.
Okay. So he's almost done homeschool.
And we did Caleb through like all 12 years. So
you know it works.
felt like 24, but yeah.
Felt like 24. There's always that one kid. That's awesome.
It's amazing how different they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, totally different. Okay. Any other questions before we sign off? And tell Steve, thank you so much for coming on. We will try and get him on. I think we should have you on at least monthly.
That would be
All in
good.
favor?
I could do that.
When do we? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just work it with my other schedules, and I had to cancel an executive director meeting with my boss, for this, so it's okay.
Oh,
No, I didn't.
We know what's important. If you lose your job because of us, we apologize.
It's only money.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on more and have you helping us more with our science.
Yeah, maybe we can just pick a certain Tuesday of the month to say this is that day, and I think it'll work.
Awesome. I think that would be awesome. Okay, we'll get that set up.
Cool.
The code again, VIP STEM, and the link is right there in the chat, guys. Get up there right now and we'll repost. Actually, we'll repost the code, but the code is posted inside the VIP group. So if you're not paying currently for the membership, you won't re-see this code. So hurry and get in there, click that, use the code at checkout, and then you can get the $12 off. Thank you, Steve. This is Amanda.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great. I mean, I've enjoyed, coming on with everyone, and I just love talking about this stuff, and I like just working with it. So I appreciate all the parents that are out there doing the right thing and using the material and teaching our kids. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. Okay, guys, you have 24 hours. Go get it quick. And we will see you guys next Tuesday.
All
All
right.
right. Thanks, Steve. Bye,
All
guys.
right, bye. Thanks.